Let's talk a little bit about the TSA. TSA, which provides airport security and screening, has had a less than stellar track record with regard to everything for about the last 10 years. Previously, I told you that in a test operation where banned items were attempted to go through TSA security just to see if the TSA would catch them, 95% of banned items made it through TSA screening. Okay, this includes everything from items that were not real bombs but should have been identified as such, knives, liquids that are too big, everything under the sun, right? 95%, that's 19 out of 20 banned items made it through TSA security. Okay, disaster, absolute disaster. Now, we have learned that nearly half of the TSA's 60,000 employees have been cited for misconduct in recent years, according to a study, but that statistic is a little bit misleading, and I'll tell you why. It's still not good, though. Complaints are up 28% over the last 3 years. Larger airports are averaging about a complaint a week. Long lines may be causing some of the spike in complaints, but the misconduct that is detailed in the report doesn't have that much to do with the long lines. Number one, attendance issues are a huge part of the problem. Not surprising if you have underpaid individuals with relatively low training and job engagement. People are probably going to call out quite a bit, not a shock at all. Let's take a look at a quote about this report that came out from the House Homeland Security Commission. Almost half of TSA's entire workforce allegedly committed misconduct, and almost half of that number allegedly did so repeatedly. According to TSA data from fiscal year 2013 through 2015, almost 27,000 unique employees had an allegation of misconduct filed against them. Moreover, about half of those employees had 2 or more misconduct allegations filed against them, with some employees having 14, 16, and 18 allegations. In fact, 1,270 employees had 5 or more misconduct allegations. Now, let's look at some of the details. Here is a table which outlines some of the types of allegations that have been made, and you'll take a look at it, and there are some sort of unusual things about it. Neglect of duty includes a whole bunch of different stuff. Sexual misconduct and abusive language are rolled into a single category. It would probably be useful to see those separated out. 57% is unexcused or excessive absences or tardiness, absent without leave, failure to follow leave procedures. And then there's the big problem, the bigger problem with the study in general, which is that the way they calculated the percentage is sort of incorrect. 27,000 unique employees had misconduct claims, and currently the TSA has 60,000 employees. So if you do the math, 27,000 divided by 60,000, it sounds like nearly half. But the reality is that you have to consider how many employees the TSA had going back to 2013, right? How many people quit or were fired and rehired. The percentage would be much lower. There's a very high turnover rate at the TSA, and this is sort of part of the problem, actually. But the numbers are a little bit deceptive. Now, that being said, we have a real problem here at the TSA. We have an agency that is in charge of keeping us safe on planes, which planes have become and are a known target for terrorist attacks. 95% of banned items get through. All sorts of personnel issues, including an incredibly high turnover rate, sexual assault claims, rampant truancy, seemingly. This is a real problem. But the thing is, can we really be that surprised about it? We have, as I've mentioned, very limited training programs for TSA agents. We have quite low wages for TSA agents, particularly when you consider many airports are not located in generally populated areas. So you have people that, on top of not being well paid, have relatively long commutes, at least in many parts of the country. Who thinks that this is going to lead to an engaged and effective workforce? Now, that's not to say that the TSA doesn't have deterrent value, because even if you believe that any individual TSA agent might not be on their game or might be upset about being underpaid or whatever it is that's going on, it still represents a pretty significant risk to actually try to really get through TSA security with seriously dangerous items. So the mere existence of the TSA, no doubt, is a sort of deterrent in and of itself. Although if we had a system more like the one that exists in Israel, as has been lauded worldwide, we would have a very, very different scenario. Of course, many people saying, well, that system would be very expensive. The reason why the Israeli system is so good is that it is way more expensive per person, but with only one major international airport in the entire country of Israel, a country that's about the size of New Jersey, you can afford to do that. And that is a legitimate argument, although if we said, you know what, we actually need to put more money into airline safety, into airport security, than we do into, I don't know, 50 military bases in Germany, much of it is just a matter of priorities. Very, very disturbing. Everything, we've heard nothing good about the TSA for a very, very long time.